So
Wow.
when you see the red flags, right, you can pause. But when you see the green flags, you go.
Okay, okay. Now, I was gonna come to those red flags a little bit later, but tell
Okay.
me, what are some quick red flags that someone who's probably not been in the dating scene for a long time,
Hmm.
not been in a relationship scene for a long time, maybe they were happily married, things got sour, and they're
Yes.
just coming off, they try to brush off their coat, try to brush off, go tap
Trying to do it
a
again.
little bit, like they're just coming back into the game and they're rusty. Are
Yes.
there some uh, red flags for middle-aged people to be mindful of? Because they've been out of the game for so long. They don't even
I,
have much fitness. They don't even,
they don't even know how to date
they don't even know
because the
exactly because
world changed
the
so
last time they
fast.
did it, it was maybe their parents who introduced, it was their
Yes.
auntie, or it was in the days when most relationships were like you admire someone and talk to them. Now it's very different. So my question is, if they don't even have much fitness, I mean,
So
what are some of the red flags that they need to look and say, hey, you stick out for a while, stick out for a while. You're not ready for prime time yet.
right. So a big one for me is inconsistency.
Story warriors, story weavers, story merchants, all people who believe in the power of their story. Please draw your chairs nearer. Pull your chairs, come closer to this virtual fireside. This is where the magic happens. Yes, this is the Story Warrior channel where we talk about unsung heroes with untold stories. My name is Gideon Fomokwai. I consider myself a story warrior on a mission to shed light where there is darkness. And in this special episode, I am having Madame Sharon K. Griffin joining us from Houston, but not just Houston. She's gonna tell us about some other places where she brings her magic to the world. And what does she do? She helps people find love in the digital era. In the digital era, it is difficult to find love. She's going to give you some special techniques, some special approaches to find love in this special era in which we live. Hello, hello, Sharon. Good afternoon, good evening. Where are you joining from? Are you in the motherland? Are you in the United States? Are you traveling the world? You look like in a tropical paradise somewhere in Jamaica. Tell me where you're joining us from.
So I'm not in Jamaica because I used to live in Jamaica though.
Okay.
I am in Houston, Texas, and yes, I do love traveling the world. And Gideon, thank you so much for having me on the Story Warrior.
Thank
Yay!
you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you making time at short notice to come and share with
Absolutely.
us how you make magic, how you bring magic to the world. Because dating is a difficult game. It is a challenging game in the digital era. Everyone is busy, everyone is stuck to their screen. They're looking at the screen for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And sooner than later, your eyes begin to water because you can't get someone to say yes. So, my question, first question to you is it true that dating is broken? Or is it not broken? You tell us. I know you're a dating expert, you're a matchmaking expert, you help people to find love. Is dating broken?
I don't want to say that dating is broken. I'm going to say that people are broken.
Oh, wait a minute. Now
So
that
I know you weren't expecting that one.
that hurts my heart. Okay, people are a little all right. We're very mortal people, right? So we're broken. Are we broken because of Web 2.0? We're distracted by hundreds and hundreds of screens and hundreds of TV channels. We're thinking we're living an illusion that we're close to the next soulmate or dozens of them, and yet we're close to nobody. Is that because of our selfish demands, our selfish
So
interests?
I don't think it's because of selfish demands. I'm going to say hurt people, but healed people help people. And we
Mm,
have so many individuals out there who
Mm-hmm.
are hurting, right? So
Mm-hmm.
hurt people hurt people.
Ouch.
So they're just transferring their hurt on
Mm.
other people. And that's where the brokenness comes
Mm.
in. But
I
when
see.
you're healed and when you're healthy, you attract a different type or different caliber of
Mm-hmm.
type of person.
Wow.
So that's how the system is broken. We have so many broken experts,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
That are transferring that energy out into the masses and people are eating it up.
Mm. I see. They eat it up and they're thinking they're eating up from the experts. They thought the
Yeah.
experts are right, but the experts are just as human as they are. And then
Well,
they carry some of those same baggage, some of that same baggage and hurt to hurt other people. Is that what you're saying?
so we're all human, right? And
Yes.
we're all flawed. But some of the very flawed people in the dating and relationship space
Mm-hmm.
are living lies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're selling what people want.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're giving people what they're thirsty for, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are eating it up, yet in their own personal spaces, they're
Mm.
suffering. They have broken homes and broken marriages or broken relationships. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden, people are becoming exposed. Like
Yeah.
Cat Williams said, 24 is going to be the year of exposure,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Wow.
some of
He.
those very same people who have been teaching us about relationships and loving God and,
Mm-hmm.
are coming to the forefront in a
Mm-hmm.
different type of light. Um,
Okay.
so that's what I'm talking about when I said
People.
hurt
Uh,
people, but healed people,
yeah.
people.
So wow, right off the bat, is there hope? I know. Is
Oh,
there hope?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Okay. And
I
that's
actually,
probably what you do, right? You help people to find hope.
yeah.
All
So
right. You
I
want to talk
actually,
about your work, how you help people to find hope? Because if there's hope, then I think we believe, tomorrow is a better day.
well, absolutely. So I'm gonna give you these statistics,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this is from a psychologist.
Okay.
So psychologically, 90%, or statistically speaking, excuse me, 90% of people will never heal, right?
Wow. That's huge.
7% will heal or change once,
Mm-hmm.
and 3% are constantly changing and growing. So we have to ask ourselves, are we in that 3%, right? Because if you're in your 3% and you're growing and you're changing, that means that you're evolving, right? Your
Yes. Yes.
mindset is evolving
Yes.
regarding different things. So
Yes.
you begin to attract different, and that's
Mm-hmm.
even in the dating and
Mm-hmm.
relationship space. So
I.
yes, I do help people find love, but I help people manifest
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
well because everything is mindset,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
hear so many women and men, but particularly women saying there's no good men out there.
Wow.
And I say
That's very
change
dark.
your words. Change your words.
Mm-hmm.
There's great men out there who are attracted to me, who
Mm-hmm.
are providers and who are single and want to get married,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have
Yes.
to change your words.
Mm-hmm.
People told me that there were no good men and things like that personally, and I always said there's great men out there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I started attracting those type of people. Now I'm happily married, so
Awesome. 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 So it took a switch in your mindset to attract the right type of partner. And
and
after that,
healing
boom, everything is magic now
and healing. But
and
yes,
healing.
I bring you
Voila.
the magic.
Voila. Voila. That is what I like to hear. Now, I
Yes.
know a fellow diaspora expert who's a matchmaker based in Canada. And she's told me, in fact, I did one program with her once
Okay.
in which we invited everyone who's looking for a soulmate. They came. The room was packed with women and very few men. The men who were there, they're all married, or vast majority of them were married. So now Here is what happened.
Okay.
Now, there were men in there who were looking out for their brothers. Nothing wrong with that. On the surface, it could have been, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys looking for?
Right.
But when we dug deeper, we realized they were looking out for their brothers who
Okay.
probably did not want to show up. And there were a lot of women from all parts of Africa and even Asia. So my question is it true that there's a significant imbalance out there? That the women are more willing to step out and look, and the men are just kind of sitting there like, we're in a minority, so somebody better come to me. Is that a true thing, or am I just using the
No,
wrong analogy based on that experience?
I'm going to say that it is true.
Wow.
It is true that more women seem to want to get married
Hmm.
and be in a relationship.
Hmm.
But contrary, there are wonderful men out there
Yes, indeed.
who want to get married
I know
as
some.
well.
I know some.
So, if there are billions of people on this earth, you
Mhm.
might have to go outside of your comfort zone
Yes.
to meet that one.
Good one. Yes, that is true. Because I know brothers whom I know are good people with a good
Yeah.
spirit, with a good heart, who maybe they've been once bitten, then twice shy. Now
Yes.
they're very, very, very careful. It's a little too careful. So my next question is that how then are you making it happen? How do you bring these amazing people together
Mm-hmm.
and help them to find love? Because everyone is busy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trapped in their cubicle, they're trapped in their job, they're trapped in their money trap, they're trapped in various places. And
Right.
we can't find enough time to socialize and to interact like our
Yes.
parents used to do. And so they're good people, but how do we find those good people? Because they're all in the cubicles. How do you get them to get out of the cubicles?
You
Damn
hire.
cubicles, damn the cubicles.
You
Sometimes I
hire.
wanted to break down the cubicles. Somebody should tear down the big cubicles and rip them apart and
So,
let people,
what
up.
I love about traveling is I meet so many different people. But the internet is also a wonderful resource for
Mhm.
people who are looking or wanting love. One of my very first matchmaking clients, he actually, or we communicated via LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Okay. And then a year later, he contacted me and he was like, "Hey, I need you to find me a wife." And this was an NBA player.
Mhm.
And
You see,
I was like, what? Like,
they got tons of money.
yeah, right.
They could
I
like
ignored it.
okay.
I ignored it. I was like, he's lying. And then a month later, he actually text messaged me
Mhm.
again.
Mhm.
And I called and he was like, yeah, I just came out of this relationship. I really want love. And that's when I found that I really had purpose.
Mhm.
Matchmaking was something that I wanted to do years ago. Like, I have receipts that I just found, um,
Mhm.
videos that I did for commercials.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't do it, I didn't pursue it because I was in a very unhealthy marriage.
Mhm.
And I felt that I would have been living a lie
Mhm.
if I'm telling people to do this and that, but yet,
You're not happy.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So my integrity and my values would not allow me to do something. Not saying that someone single or someone that's married having issues can't, right? Because we
Mhm.
all can learn.
Mhm.
But just the core of who I am, I have to have a proven method
Mhm. Mhm.
so that I can teach the
Yeah.
proven method.
Yeah.
So when he came to me, I was ready.
That's very profound.
Yeah.
That is very profound. So, in a way, what you're saying there is if each of the partners have done the difficult work of working on themselves,
Yes.
it makes it easier for other one to come in and they can then start on a new. playing field or a clean slate, so to speak.
Yes.
But you know it as I know it that in the world, most people are sometimes in a rush.
Yes.
Maybe they just burn this bridge, they want to move on to the next bridge. They don't have
Yeah.
time to do the healing. Is that healing part of your matchmaking process, or that is something that they have to take care of it by themselves before they come to you?
No, that actually is something that I tap into because I
Mhm,
do dating and relationship coaching. What I
mhm,
teach is self love is the best love, right? And
mhm,
the more love you have for yourself, the more love you have for your significant other, your
mhm,
children, and the
mhm,
world and the community around us, right?
mhm.
But many of us are pouring from an empty cup. So
Yep.
when you're pouring from the empty cup, you become depleted,
Yes.
right? And most people are depleted from pouring. They're
Mhm.
giving what they don't have, which is that self love.
Yes.
But when you have that love, your
Yeah.
whole life and trajectory change,
Mm.
and again, you begin to attract a
Mhm.
different type of people, and your boundaries
Mhm.
become established. So
Wow.
when you see the red flags, right, you can pause, but when you see the green flags, you go.
Okay, okay. Now, I was gonna come to those red flags a little bit later, but tell
Oh,
me, what are some quick red flags that someone who's probably not been in the dating scene for a long time,
hmm,
not been in a relationship scene for a long time, maybe they were happily married, things got sour, and they're
yes.
just coming off, they try to brush off their coat, try to brush off, go tap
Trying to do it
a
again.
little bit, like they're just coming back into the game and they're rusty. Are
Yes.
there some uh, red flags for middle-aged people to be mindful of? Because they've been out of the game for so long. They don't even
I,
have much fitness. They don't even
they don't even know how to date
they don't even know
because the
exactly because
world changed
the
so
last time they
fast.
did it, it was maybe their parents who introduced, it was their
Yes.
auntie, or it was in the days when most relationships were like you admire someone and talk to them. Now it's very different. So my question is, if they don't even have much fitness, I mean,
So,
what are some of the red flags that they need to look and say, hey, you stick out for a while, stick out for a while. You're not ready for prime time yet.
right. So, a big one for me is inconsistency.
Mm,
Okay,
mhm,
because someone that's inconsistent is showing you that later on down the line, if
mhm,
you enter into a relationship
mhm.
and marriage, they'll probably be inconsistent.
Yes, that's a very good
Lack of communication skills.
one.
Most people do not know how to communicate effectively, openly, or honestly,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So, and I go back to this when we were little kids, we were taught to lie. How do you feel? We're pouting. Oh, I'm okay, but I'm really not
And,
okay. Why am I crying?
I
Right?
see Americans do this.
Oh yeah, us women, we don't want to mess up our makeup.
Like, which is more important, the real cry that makes you human, or
Right.
like
That's behind closed
on.
doors.
Sometimes I like my African people because they really cry. They want to cry. They cry. They cry. They let the whole world know I'm not happy about it.
I
So
love
what with
it.
the makeup? Who cares about the makeup? But
We were taught to lie over here.
exactly. And then
Okay.
to do a smile at it. Whoa, that one, it really got me. Like, this is so fake. This is so superficial. This is not even real. But anyway, I would not
Yeah.
judge that because it's bigger than me. But let's say someone
So
comes to you,
communication,
communication, okay,
lack of communication.
authentic communication, authentic.
Yes, authentic and lack of, because some people just won't communicate. How do you
Mhm.
feel? I'm okay, but they're not telling their
Yeah,
true
they're not
feeling,
really okay.
right? So
Wow.
that um someone who has a bad relationship
Mhm.
with their ex, right? Their children's mother.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if the child is still around, you still have to deal with that person,
Yes.
right? And a lot of times people don't want to tell what they've done in that relationship, and they put it all on the other
Mm-hmm.
person. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that's a really huge red flag because
Mm-hmm.
lack of accountability.
Yep. You've not grown yet. You're still
Right,
stuck in
right.
I'm right, I'm perfect, every other person is bad. That's certainly not good, because you have to have some level of accountability. Say, this is where I
Yeah.
went wrong. And that shows you that that person is genuine.
Yeah, and you know what? And this might be hard for someone right now, someone that's over emotional,
Hmm.
over emotional.
What does that
And
mean?
the reason I say that is because there's so many men at this moment who are overly emotional, where if I can't have you, no one else will. And
Mm.
they have,
Okay. Possessive. Some people call it possessive. Is that right?
mhm,
Yeah.
and they have killed their
Hmm.
significant others, and even sometimes themselves,
Themselves.
their children.
Yeah.
So we have to be very, very careful of that. You don't want someone who's too attached to
Hmm.
you where they
Hmm.
can't let go.
Mm.
It's happening, and it seems like they're getting younger and younger.
Hmm.
I mean, they're
Wow.
older too, but younger and younger.
Yep.
Teenagers. So just, those are some of the red flags that I definitely would watch out for, and I teach other people to really be careful of.
Okay, that is really spot on. Now, with respect to the basketball player, I don't know, it's an NBA player. I know
Hmm.
some people that are high profile in
Hmm.
my space, and they're very discreet about who they talk
Oh
to,
yeah.
about their emotional needs. So my question then is, did you help them? How did you help them? Because they want to be out there, but they also want to be careful, because if we look at it carefully, there are some females and males who, if they hear that, oh, it's Mr. Jones, and Mr. Jones is making this much, or Mr. Jones is professionally, everything that Mr. Jones says is a yes. So you don't know if this person is saying yes
Mhm.
because of who you are, how you
Right,
conduct yourself, your values, or they're saying yes because they know that by saying yes, they also have access
right.
to some significant resources.
Well, what's interesting for me, energy doesn't lie,
Mhm.
and I hate using this term, discerning. You have to be very discerning. I'm around a lot of high profile men,
Mhm.
and I'm a gatekeeper
Mhm.
to those men. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Okay.
So doing the vetting and
Mhm.
things like that,
Okay.
flushing,
They put their
flushing
trust in
out.
you
That's right,
so that
absolutely.
you can now go out there, maybe work like an FBI, so to speak,
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
background checks and check all those things so that you can
absolutely.
then do the introduction. So you're a gatekeeper. Sorry, I think
Yeah. I'm sorry.
FBI is an exaggeration. It's my comical exaggeration, but it's
No,
like
no, no.
you're a gatekeeper in whom they put their trust, they invest their trust, so that you do the necessary checking before
That's
you can,
right.
okay. So
So,
how did you have that guy, that particular high profile?
I had him on all kinds of dates, and it was super amazing. It was
Mhm.
super fun.
Okay.
But his ex-girlfriend
Mhm.
wanted him back, and she promised him that she would change and
Mhm.
yada yada yada, and he
Mhm.
decided to give it another shot, which was
Okay.
fine. Which
Okay.
was fine.
That's
But
human. That's human.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
human.
and I'm okay
And
with
it could
that.
be for a good reason. I'm not
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
the fact that.
But what I can say for me, it showed me purpose. And it showed me you are meant to do this. So here I am today.
Did you help them in the end?
He did. He said if it was not for me, that he would not
Not
have
have gone back that route.
value, mhm,
I see.
and understood what was out there in the whole dating and relationship space. So he said that I did add value to who he was. And for that, I'm
That
very
is a
grateful.
vuvuzela moment. I get my vuvuzela moment when somebody says something so profound, and I give you one blast.
Well,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, that is certainly profound. So, did it end happily? Is it
Yeah, they've had a baby. I think
wow? So
they
it's a
even,
happily
yes,
ever after.
yes,
Woohoo!
yes,
Should have
yes.
been a double blast. So thanks.
Yeah.
That's almost so. Sometimes are you doing work of ministry, or are you
It,
just a consultant? Because if you look at that kind of situation, what you were bringing to light there was you're helping them to heal. You're
yeah,
helping them to see the Bible say forgive some people,
yeah.
forgive someone 70 times seven. So you are actually you're bringing biblical principles to the marketplace.
I never looked at it that way. But one thing I believe is healing. Healing is key, right? And if you're not in that space of wanting
Mhm.
to be healed, or at least like looking in your own mirror, I can't work with you.
Mm.
Because I am not going to put someone in a situation that will be
Mhm.
volatile to them.
Yeah.
So, no. And I'm okay with walking away. I am.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, after a certain level of success, you can walk away, but I don't know how many people can walk away. But I don't want to.
No, no. Integrity is everything, right?
Yes.
And my name would be on the line, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you're
Okay.
not going to please people 100%.
Okay.
But consciously, if I put someone in a situation,
Hmm.
that's my conscious.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Who are you helping more? Who is more on your database? Is it busy professionals who are male, busy
Hmm.
professionals who are female? Is it people of African diaspora in the diaspora? Is it
Hmm.
people back in the motherland? Is it people from the Orient? Is it people of Western culture? Who are the dominant characters on your database?
The dominant characters in my database are Africans,
Gentlemen, male, female, or
male and female,
male and female?
man
Okay,
and female
okay,
alike.
okay.
But I would say more professional women.
More professional women. I've heard about that too.
And
That's,
you
that,
know,
that concurs with what the previous guest had talked about the fact that she had
mhm.
medical doctor, she got all this high performance, and
Yeah,
they are willing to even lower some of their
they're
requirements,
standards.
and the guys are just running for the hills. They're
But you,
running and breathing. I'm like, I even brought one good brother to her, and
okay,
she made an intro. The guy just ran away. Just I didn't even take the first. I don't think he even took the first two steps. And I
really?
felt like, wow, these are people of similar background,
Can I say something?
similar, like cultural heritage. The guy just ran away. Completely. I'm
It
like, wow.
Matchmaking traditionally has been around for a very long time. It started in France, right?
Mhm.
But Indians have
Wait, the
made
French?
their children. That's what
The
they say
French?
in my research.
I thought it was from the motherland because
Well,
our great grandparents, that's what they good. They were really good at.
right. I was getting ready to say that in
Okay.
families like India and Africa, they were
Yes.
matching their
Yes.
children, but it became a business
Oh, when it became a business, the
in
French.
France.
Oh, those bloody
Yes,
French. They know how to collect a dollar on everything. And I have
that's
French who
when,
are French. I hope they forgive me, but they know
right.
how to monetize. Okay.
So when it comes to paying people,
Mhm.
Africans and African Americans are a little behind.
Yes, I would imagine. Culturally, they're very similar. Yes.
Right. Because
And
we actually come from you.
yeah, and very much conservative, very conservative, and for the right reasons. For the right reasons. Now,
Yes, unless your
in the
parents are still married.
modern sense, I don't know whether that still works,
Hmm.
but I think it came from a protective place. It wasn't flippant. It wasn't like anything goes. It was like we want our daughter, want our sons to be in the right place, and
Right.
so I think it wasn't out of a culture of carelessness. It was from a culture of care and compassion for their family and loved ones. What do you
I
think?
agree. I agree to an extent.
Okay.
Okay. I
Mm.
believe that most families want the best for their children,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But no one ever asked. I've never heard of
Yeah.
their daughter or son. Do you like this person? Is there an energetic connection? You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
it was like, this is going to be your husband, this is going to be your wife, and you
Okay.
figure it out and you
Okay.
kind of learn to
Yeah.
like or love each other.
Okay.
You see
No.
the difference?
Yes. But when I was growing up, to our parents' credit, I saw my elder brothers. They were being matched.
Okay.
There was a lot of consent involved. It wasn't just like, this is the guy,
Okay.
pick the
Okay.
guy and run. No, it was like
Okay.
they do the background thing, they do the checking. There was a lot of meet, you know, talk to
Meet and
each other,
greet.
meet and greet, knock on the door. And it went progressively because there
Okay.
were instances in which sometimes just because they came to one house did not mean that it was all okay. And there were instances in which the girls pushed back like strongly, like, I don't want this dude, please leave me.
Okay.
And the parents did not insist. In some
Okay.
cases, some ran away if the parents insisted, and
Oh,
there were no consequences.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but there was a little bit of pressure. It was a bit of creative pressure, not overwhelming pressure, so to speak.
okay. Okay.
Yes. So I give a little bit of credit there, but I have a sense that you are very good at this.
I love
And
people. I love
there you
people
go.
and I love love.
There you go.
And I'm going to put my business out there. I'm on my
Mhm.
fifth marriage,
Okay.
right?
Which means you have very good experience
I have a lot of
in terms of weighing out the options and making a sound decision. Don't you think so?
Yes, I do, but I also healed. And that's the difference in this marriage.
Hmm.
This marriage is a very happy marriage,
Awesome.
right?
Awesome.
Where
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
not
Awesome.
only love you, I like you.
Yes, that is
I like
powerful
him
because
too.
that is a very very powerful place because that foundation is unshakable.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
Um, and it's
Did
interesting.
you go through someone, a
I didn't.
professional like yourself, or you went all out by yourself for yourself?
I prayed where
Mhm.
to go on my next vacation.
Mhm.
God answered. I went for 5 weeks by myself. I met my husband my fifth week. And that's
Wow.
why I said you can manifest
Mhm.
your match.
Wow. Wow. And this is going strong. How long?
It'll be 8 years in
That's a
20
very
2025.
powerful.
6 years married.
Kudos,
And
kudos, 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 kudos.
people tell you that the first 7 years are the hardest. We've had the best 8 years.
There you go. That's
So
amazing.
I believe that someone taught me a lie, saying that 7 years,
There are a lot of lies.
worst years, and
There are
if
a
you
lot of
could get
lies.
past, no, no. Those first few years and beyond could be the best years.
Absolutely. Why not? There's no such thing as there is a gravitational pull against people who love themselves if they're
Right.
in
But we
love.
were
So
taught that.
no, I those are some of the
Many of us here in the US.
fallacies that are out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, take us back, Sharon. Before you became so good at this, what were you doing? Give us a little bit of your backstory,
Okay,
professionally speaking.
so so I had my daughter when I was 20. I did not know what I wanted to do out of life. I was previously in school for nursing.
Hmm. Oh my God, what happened? Find love in a digital era. You mentioned you were in going to the field of nursing.
Yeah,
Is that what
I
you
was.
practice or?
Yeah, okay. So I was going to go into the field of nursing, and I figured I had to be smarter than the doctor and get paid less. So I said, no, that's not for me.
Okay.
So I actually went into dental hygiene
Okay.
and practiced in 8 different states,
Hmm.
but practiced for the dentist who was seeing this Philadelphia 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew, or one of the reasons I knew I wanted to be around high profile individuals
Hmm.
because it was easy, it was light,
Hmm.
and I knew that people of a certain caliber and status would be able to afford
Hmm.
matchmaking.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, and dental hygiene really allowed me to study people, right?
Okay.
You're studying body language because
Yes.
literally you're in their mouths,
Yes.
and which is
Sorry.
one of the most personal places
Personal. Yes.
that you can be. So
Yeah.
you're studying eyes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Facial movements. You're studying
Yes.
hands for any
Yes.
twitches or,
Yes.
tensities or things like that, especially when I
Hmm.
started giving injections. So
Yeah.
I just knew that I had the sauce and the juice
Yes.
for what I
Wow.
wanted to pursue.
That is very interesting. I know there's some bit of baby cry from out there, but it makes the world real.
Yeah.
There's no perfect world
Oh,
without
no, no.
babies.
And that's
So,
okay.
yes,
Congratulations. How old's the baby?
the baby is about a year and 3 months.
Oh,
Uh,
boy.
late bloomer.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Boy or girl?
girl, of course, has to be a girl.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And her name?
Beningwi in my mother tongue means thank you, God.
Oh, I know that's right. I
Thank
love
you, God.
that,
Yes,
Benjamin.
yeah.
Very
So
nice. I love
thank
that
you,
name too.
thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
It speaks to the circumstances in which she appeared.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes. Yeah, I kind
yeah,
of figured.
yeah,
That's one thing that I love about the African culture
yes.
is that names are very important.
Names are sacred. They carry meaning. I
Yeah.
have joked from when I used to do a little bit of comedy. I said, if you listen to my name and you follow my name carefully, you'll be able to trace my place of origin, and you
Wow.
can go all the way there. So no names are not random. Names cannot
Yeah.
be random. And don't you think it's the right thing for name to be purposeful,
Oh,
to be
absolutely.
grounded in some grain of truth, for heaven's sake? So
Yes.
yeah, so
I
no, that we have to give that one, and I give credit to my wife for figuring out that really quick. The moment she gave it, I'm like, sign up, like totally. I have nothing. I could never have thought that deep. So I was
oh,
like, that was a perfect name.
I
So
love that. I love
yes.
that. Speaking of Africa, the first time or the second time I went to Africa, but the first time I went to Nigeria, I actually called my son
Mm.
and I said, I want me a Nigerian daughter in law and grandbaby.
Oh, oh, that is so cool. Keeping it in the house, keeping it in the family,
Yeah.
keeping it
Well,
based on the DNA. Let's
yes.
enrich the gene pool. So, did he honor that?
Not yet,
Okay, no pressure.
but I'm gonna take him over there.
No pressure.
Like,
No
let's go
pressure.
over there.
No pressure. So
Pressure.
you, yeah, that's a bit of mommy's pressure. But you run your business both in US and in Nigeria.
Yes.
So where do you see a greater need for people to find soulmates? Is it more predominant in US or is it growing more and more in Africa? Because I know for a fact that for a long time Africans were like, we can take care of ourselves, we're good.
Hmm.
But the work culture is changing everywhere. So where do you see a greater need?
I'm gonna say 50-50 because if
No
I
kidding.
said one or the other,
That
I'd
is
be
shocking.
lying
Wow.
to you.
Wow. That is
Relationship,
eye-opening to me.
the lack of relationships are everywhere.
No kidding.
Everywhere. Europe,
No kidding.
India, yes,
Everywhere.
Asia,
Asia,
Africa,
yes.
all
Asia
the
is
continents.
wow. That's interesting. So you see as many clients in Africa as you see in America.
More in Africa.
No kidding.
So this is their thing. A
Mhm.
lot of them, some of them, they want to come to the U.S., which is
Okay.
fine,
Okay.
which is fine.
Mhm.
But I always say this. Okay, maybe you might want to meet someone in the U.S.,
Mhm.
but you might want to still live in Africa
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and become a power couple
Yep.
there because Africa has great resources, right?
Incredible resources.
So if you take the mindsets of
Mhm.
two individuals and maybe even the finances of this one individual here in the US, the
Mhm.
sky is the limit.
Mhm.
And that's what people aren't understanding. You
Mhm.
come together, you bring two people together who have a mindset for business, right?
Mhm.
Business
Mhm.
and love,
Yeah.
and you create something powerful
Can
that
they
you
go
can
together?
leave.
Do they go together? I don't
Oh,
know.
absolutely.
Okay, so someone
Absolutely.
could definitely say, I want to have me a soulmate in America, maybe because that's where I intend to go to school, or maybe that's where I intend to go and practice. So they can be that specific. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay, I can see this
Why not? I
market for
mean,
that. Why not?
Americans
And,
are saying,
and
well, it
Americans
just,
too. I also see Americans are also saying, I want me a man in Africa, or I want me a
oh, American women.
oh. All right. Come on. Tell us a little bit more about
American.
that.
So,
Okay.
African men are the in thing right now.
Is that true? Because a friend of
Oh,
mine who's a
yes.
DJ, he is German, by the way, but he's half German, half African,
Uh
half
huh.
Cameroonian.
See, y'all
He
set
was
up on this
he
one,
was
right?
he was working in Vegas. And he said to me, we're trending. I'm like, what do you mean we're trending? He said, African men are trending. And then like, yeah, he said Nigerian men are trending even
Yes,
more. He said in Vegas, if he says he's even remotely close, he's Cameroon and he's not Nigerian, then the whole marketplace is like, whoa. So
baby.
is that true that
Yes,
African men and Nigerian men are
yes,
trending?
yes, yes. And
Wow.
I
Wow.
hopped on that train.
I'm gonna blast this off in honor of my brother. We've been at the back of the bus for too long. Come to town, guys, and play. So there is a universe in which American women
Look, you so
are
excited.
having a preference for the brothers from the other homeland.
Yes, from the continent. I'm
Wow,
actually considering doing a girls' trip to Africa.
that is amazing. That's amazing.
There's some beautiful
Wow.
men in Africa.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful. Oh my
very,
goodness.
very,
And
very.
women. And women. I have to say that too.
Thank you, thank you. It has to be both.
Oh
Got to come
yes.
from
I called
the
my
same
son.
stock, from the same
I called
stock.
my son.
There
It
you
has
go.
to be.
Yeah, yeah. For you to give a green light to your son,
Oh
to look
honey.
in that direction, you clearly have seen something, the
y-
tapestry that others can see.
You know what? Africans still have family values and tradition.
Ooh, very deep.
And that was my
Very deep.
thing, the reason for calling my
Very,
son.
very, very deep. Like super deep.
Yes,
Like
yes,
don't joke with this. It is sacred. It is sacred. Don't joke with
yes,
that.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. And that's why I was like, hey, you need to come here
Okay.
because of the tradition of family.
Wow. What you're saying here, this is profound. This is
Wow.
people don't know this, honestly. People need to
Really?
know this. Yes, people don't know. You need to say that again. That it is something that is still adore.
Yeah.
Family is still sacred.
Yeah.
And one way you see it, go to a Nigerian wedding.
Oh, I've been.
Let's see, they dress up.
I've been.
Go to a Cameroonian dressing, they, in a wedding, they dress up. Go to a South African Botswana, they dress up. They party. They bring all
Yes.
in-laws. Everybody's invited.
I actually want to have a wedding in Africa.
Everybody is invited
Oh yeah.
because they
Oh
want
yeah.
everybody to be witness. You better take this seriously because we're witnessing this. You better take this. So that's the unspoken language of all the family members come, all the in-laws come. We want to be witnessing this so that tomorrow you don't. This is not for games.
I love
That's
it.
what
I
that's
love
what my
it.
mom used to
I
tell me.
love it. I love it. I love it.
So this is interesting that there is as many um, potential couples on both sides of the Atlantic
Yes.
that are looking and saying, "We want to build
And
new bridges."
I want to do so. You don't know about this, but I always say that I'm bridging the gap between America and Africa.
Thank you. And I'm also in that business. I don't know if you
Yes,
recognize that.
yes, yes,
Maybe I don't
yes.
charge a fee, but I'm also
But
bridging
you
the
are
gap.
bridging the gap.
I'm
Yes,
bridging the gap because I want our people in diaspora, on diaspora people of all backgrounds, let's say Asians and so on,
yes,
to
yes,
connect back with their roots, to connect across cultures, to connect and learn. Because when we know about each other's culture, when we know about ourselves better, magic happens.
yes. And
And
we're
that magic
starting.
is, yeah, magic is greater understanding, ability to listen to each other, ability to, attend and learn at their weddings, at their
Yes,
funerals,
yes,
at all moments. When you're connected to people in that way, you cannot get into disputes. You cannot get into all the fighting and the insanity that goes on out there. So you're building bridges
yes.
by helping people find love. We're
And in
building,
business.
and in business, we're
Hmm.
building bridges by getting people get closer and
Yeah.
learn and be inspired through your work, through the things that you do. So how can somebody find you?
Wow. So all my social media is my name, Sharon K. Griffin, CheronKGriffin,
Mhm.
or my website, SharonKGriffin.com.
Yeah, I was on your website.
Oh,
It looks superb. It looks beautiful. It looks was
thank you.
very well done, and
Thank you.
kudos to you. Um, what about clients from French-speaking Africa? You know, Africa is huge,
Yes,
54
it
countries.
is.
So, are you working with clients? Are you seeing? Would you be able to talk to clients from French-speaking Africa because that's a big
I,
part of Africa?
so I would actually need an interpreter or
Mm,
Google Interpret.
mhm.
In all honesty, I'm not French speaking, so
Yet,
I would need someone on that side or someone
okay,
probably on that side,
okay, okay. I can help you
to
with that.
help.
I can find some people that can
Thank
help
you.
you with that. Yes.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
Cameroon is next door to Nigeria. It's French speaking, smaller economy, just about
you.
30 million people, but they, of course, they're also very outgoing.
Okay.
And I know those that live here, some are intermarried with Nigerians, some are intermarried with Americans. And
Nice.
so clearly, I would have your website posted when we put this show up so that people can, get in touch with you.
Oh, thank
Now,
you.
do
Yes.
you charge an arm and a leg? Do you ask them to come with their great 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 grandparents and all? How?
So initially, I was charging an arm and a
Or
leg,
like,
but I
okay,
want it to be more affordable
okay,
for people to invest because
okay,
it's an investment in
yes,
love. Now,
yes.
when it comes to like ball players,
Okay, okay, those ones that are
I'm not
professionals,
serious.
professionals. Okay, the Nigerian side of you comes alive. Okay, fair enough. Why
My
not?
Igbo side.
Yeah, and oh my God, are you able? Good for you.
So
Yeah, the Jews, they call them the Jews of Africa.
when I do business, they say I'm Igbo,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But my spirituality
Yeah.
is definitely Yoruba.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think there was a mix because I can't stop working.
Yeah.
It's in me.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's my Igbo side.
Okay. Okay. You can't stop hustling.
Yeah, I was going to say hustler.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No,
Yeah.
able that man. Whew, they they know how to make money. That's for sure. So, and one other thing that I encountered was when we lived in Oregon for a long time.
Okay.
I had a friend. She is of mixed Caucasian and Caribbean descent, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
She understands that I do professional storytelling for companies. And
Okay.
she always talked to me about Gideon. I need you to come and teach some of my people how to use their stories in dating, in making a positive first impression.
Oh,
And I
wow.
wrote it off for a long time. But after a while, I thought, you know what? If somebody has a need, you should at least find a way to help them fulfill that need. Do
Oh,
you
wow.
think that some of the couples or potential couples that are coming together, do they have the skills to make a good positive first impression with their backstory without coming across as too shy or too reserved? Because we're talking about cultures, we're talking about people that could be inhibited by the virtue of the fact that don't touch your own hand. That's something in African culture that's quite common.
Most people don't know how to date. I used to be a serial dater. Like I
Mm,
loved dating. Like
mhm, mhm.
will them in.
Okay, okay, okay.
But most people don't know how to date.
Interesting.
And I wanted to do a little bit of research. I actually went back and interviewed a lot of the men that I've dated
Mm,
and or married, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I compiled a list of things that they said.
Wow. That's
Just because
pretty,
I wanted to know.
that's very scientific.
Oh,
That's like some qualitative research going on right there.
well,
Okay.
I was a serial dater, so I wanted to know why.
Yeah.
I got the second date, the third date, or whatever.
Mhm, mhm,
And I learned from there, and I teach people based on that. I'm not
mhm,
teaching them to be me,
mhm.
but I'm teaching them how to date.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Do you also teach them how to tell their story? Like, you don't have to suppress some important facts about you. Like, you have been very transparent the way
Yes.
that you've spoken here. And that's very powerful because to me, as someone coming from the world of storytelling, it elicits trust. And somebody's able to be vulnerable and say, hey, I've made this mistake, I've made that mistake. I trust them more as opposed to the one that is, very cagey and keeping whole or
Right.
acting like no, they don't want to let out the facts. So
Yeah.
do you teach them to tell their story? That's what
I
I'm trying to
teach
say.
I teach people to share,
Mhm,
right? But
mhm.
don't over.
Yeah, don't overshare. Oversharing is overwhelming.
Yes.
Undersharing, if you don't share too much, it's not right. You have to find the right
Right.
balance.
You have to
Mhm,
find the balance, the
mhm.
best of both worlds, because when you overshare, you can actually scare some people away,
Yes.
or you can allow them to attach themselves to you to hurt you, right?
There
So
you go.
you share,
Hmm.
right? The basics.
Hmm.
Um, but then gradually over time, you
Hmm.
go into the details.
Hmm. Wow. Wow. Let's say,
You're
let's
like,
say,
oh.
somebody comes super excited and you're able to find, do you give them one or two options or three options, or
Yeah.
your database is limited? Because in the case of the other lady with whom I've had her on the show, she said
Okay.
my database is very limited in some areas. So do you give
Okay.
them one or two, 3 dates before you make up
So
their mind, or before you tell them, hey, make up your mind or make a decision, or how do you do that?
first of all, I would never tell someone make up your mind or make a decision.
Okay.
Like because this is a lifetime or a commitment, right?
Mhm.
So you give people a chance to weigh the pros and cons of individuals,
Mm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
if they're not satisfied with an individual, we move on.
Oh,
So
okay.
now there are a limit, or there is a limit to how
Mm-hmm.
many dates per month. But
Okay.
it's okay. We just move on until
Mm.
the person is satisfied. So
Okay.
I would never force someone into a situation, because
Mm.
I was forced to get married when I was 19.
Oh no.
And I see and I know what that feels like and looks like.
Mm. And that
Yeah.
leaves an indelible mark on your mind, and
Yeah.
that certainly is not something to even wish for anyone.
Right. I don't
So
take it lightly.
yeah. So as you counsel your potential couples,
Yes.
how long does it take for someone, let's say an ideal case,
Okay.
comes in January? By what time they're moving out the door? Like check check. Happily, we're happy we had you guys. Now invite us for the birthday party, or invite us when for the anniversaries. How
So are
long?
you
How
talking
long
about
does it take averagely?
individual? You're talking
Yes.
about individual or couple?
Individuals who come
Okay.
looking and then eventually define from your system, from your research, from your reservoir, and then they move on. But how long does it take for someone to find
Okay.
love?
So eventually, I mean, previously, excuse me, I had a client who was a doctor,
Mhm,
and she had a lot of issues. So I just saw her for 3 months,
mhm.
and now she's happily married. I'm gonna say within a year, and not from my database.
Okay, from
Not from my
another
database.
database. So if
Yeah.
you can't facilitate it, you let them go.
But what she said is, if it was not for you, I
Mm,
wouldn't be where I am today. Everything
wow,
in my life elevated, her job
wow, wow,
and her quest to be married.
wow. Look at
So
that.
I don't take that lightly. My
Mhm.
job to me is very, very, very important
Yes,
and very significant.
of
So
course.
whether I'm hired as a coach
Mhm,
or a matchmaker, I'm going
mhm.
to make sure that you leave me with the tools necessary for you to go ahead
Succeed.
and
Okay.
succeed. Yes, sir.
Wow. Hmm. That
My
is
job is to
interesting.
add value
To
to who
add
you
value.
are, not take away.
Thank you. And give us one romantic success that you've had,
Ooh, I
say,
love
in the
that
last
one.
year. That way we can,
No, don't say within
we
the
can
last
wrap
year.
it,
Just
we
say
can wrap,
period.
yeah, okay,
I
yeah.
want to share
So
this
that
one.
that way it would, it would really, it would light a fire in the minds of people who are thinking and they're on the fence. They're thinking, okay, should I work with Sharon? Should I not work with Sharon? Give us that success
It's
story.
okay. Even if they don't go with me, that's fine. And I'm
Yeah,
not trying to talk people out of
yeah.
not, but I actually hooked my parents up when I was 12.
What?
Yes, my mom and my stepdad when
So
I
that
was
was your
12.
first
That was my first.
unpaid gig. Were
Yes.
you paid? Okay, you were paid by virtue of love from them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So mom was at home sick, and he took me to church that day. And on the way home, which was Valentine's Day, I said, "Aren't you going to get my mom some flowers?"
Mm,
And he stopped and bought two. And they've
wow.
been together ever since.
Oh, you mean prior to that they were not together?
No, he was just giving us a ride to church, and she was homesick that day. And he still took
Oh,
me. So I think I
wow.
always had it in me or valued relationships for whatever reason,
Hmm.
maybe a God given reason.
Wow, that is so cool. And they're still happily ever together.
Yeah, yeah. He's 82 and she's 76.
Yes, that is powerful.
So I wanted to give that story
Yes,
because that's the one that really,
touches
um,
home, comes
yes,
close to home.
yes,
But in the professional arena, I'm
yes,
sure you have success stories too.
absolutely.
Okay. Is there anyone that sticks out, one that stands out you want to share with us before we ask the last three questions or so?
I think for me, the NBA player stuck out the most.
Okay. Okay.
And
Wow.
I'm going to say the reason why it w- is because it was very impromptu,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the one that catapulted me
Yeah.
to what I'm experiencing and doing now.
Okay. Wow. That is interesting. Is there any book on dating, finding love? Is there any website on finding love that you recommend to people who are just starting out?
Wow. So I don't have a book
Yeah.
on finding love, right?
Yeah.
But I have my book.
Yep. Yep.
And I have it right here? Okay, so I have several. I have 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Is
3
that the
p.
title of your book?
Yes. Okay. The preacher, the power, the penis, and me.
Okay. Wow. That's
You're like,
deep.
oh.
Okay.
But let me
The
tell you
preacher,
why.
the power.
The penis
Uh-huh.
and me. And the reason
Okay.
I say that book is because more men have gotten healed from that book.
Mm. Wow. And why preachers though?
So I was married to 2 preachers previously.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
And
okay.
it was about my transformation, being in the cocoon,
Mm-hmm.
going into my butterfly phase.
Mm.
But through the words, men literally found their healing space,
Hmm.
which is ironic because it was written for women.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, men gravitate to my books more. Um,
Mm.
and then I have this book. I have this one right here, 134 Reasons You Can't Find a Man.
Wow. You can't.
Cannot, can't.
Okay.
But the interesting thing is, men said that this is the marriage code cracker.
Okay, okay, okay. For
So
men, for men, not for women.
it's
Even though it was
it
written
was
for women,
written for women.
but men like it more.
Yes,
Very interesting.
yes, and it's not a book. It's really a journal,
Okay.
but it
Wow.
lists all the reasons. So when a woman goes through this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very important for her, one, to be open and honest with
Mm-hmm.
herself. Like I've heard from a few younger women
Mm-hmm.
that they literally had to stop for a period of time because they saw so much of them
Mm-hmm.
in
And
this,
that,
in their
oh, okay.
writing and journaling,
Wow.
that it became traumatic.
Mm.
And it wasn't to enforce a traumatic response or a trauma response. It was for you to deal with self,
Mm-hmm.
to see what was hindering
Yeah,
you from possibly going forward
I
in
see.
relationships, healthy relationships.
Okay. Wow, that's very profound. So
Do I get the horn?
that's
Like,
that
no,
that's
I'm
that's
only
that second one is also as profound as the first one. Now, uh, talking about preachers, preachers have been a bit in the news lately,
Yes.
and maybe you have some advice for business people, for preachers, uh, respect to finding love in the digital era. Something just tells me there's something that I don't know how to ask a question.
So, one of my very first coaching clients was a female pastor.
Mhm.
And what I love about her was her transparency and her vulnerability. And she said she didn't know who she was. And
Mhm.
I find that a lot of people in ministry, a lot
Mhm.
of high profile individuals do not know who they are. They know what they do.
So they're
And
good spiritually, but probably emotionally, socially
so,
not very good. Is that what you're saying?
no, I'm not saying that they're good spiritually, right?
Okay.
I'm saying that they're good at preaching.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
good at playing basketball, they're good at
Okay.
playing football, and
Mm-hmm.
that thing that they're good at has
Mm-hmm.
become their identity. So
Mm-hmm.
you take that away from them, they don't know who they are.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
And that's big.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't know who they are. The young man who just died by suicide last week. The Liam, something Liam.
Mm-hmm.
Just listening to the news media and things like that, and he didn't know who he was. He was still
Mm-hmm.
trying to find
Mm-hmm.
out who he was, even
Mm-hmm.
though he was great
Mm-hmm.
at what he did.
As a
Does that
musician,
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. As a musician, he was great, right?
Yeah.
But maybe okay, okay.
But when you take away music, who am I? When you take
Mm-hmm.
the football player off the field, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Because most of them don't know who they are because football has become their identity. Music has
Yes,
their
yes.
identity. But who am
Okay.
I here?
Yes.
What
Okay.
do I like? What
Yeah.
don't I like? What are my core values?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't
Okay.
know.
And that could be a preacher, it could be anybody. That's what you're
Yes, they
saying.
don't
Okay.
know. They
Okay.
don't know. This
Wow.
beautiful preacher had so many wonderful clothes, brand new clothes in her closet, but wouldn't wear them because of the people.
Mm.
Afraid of what the people would say.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who run and hide and do things, but are afraid to say, "This is who I am."
Yeah.
You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my goal, let's get to know who you are.
You are.
Because if
And
you don't know who you are, how do you expect someone else to know you?
or help that other person to find who they are.
Yeah, or they
Hmm.
find they marry this fictitious being,
Yeah.
and then someone else comes out to play.
Yeah. 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 And
The little
that's
girl, that little boy,
totally dysfunctional.
yeah, who has been traumatized, who never healed. They come out to play and they show you. The Bible says the bitter root expectation springs forth and defiles many. What's the
Mm.
bitter root?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
Hmm.
Have you healed?
Yep.
Yes.
So, in other words, should you provide the coaching and the counseling too?
So I'm not a counselor, right? So
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
go by that. I do the coaching and I deal with real life issues and I'm okay
Okay.
with that. And I'm
Okay.
not afraid to tackle
Okay.
the hard pieces. Like money, I tell people this. My parents had a 21 room house.
Your parents?
So, right. So money doesn't like, I'm not like, oh my God, the money. That's why I said earlier, I could,
Mm.
if I'm not vibing with you,
Yeah.
I don't need your money.
There you go.
I've seen with money and
Yeah, I
family.
mean that certainly is affluence. I mean,
It's a reason,
United States, not everyone can afford that.
right?
They want
So
fantastic.
that's just me.
Okay. So, any other books from your collection? I mean, you've written
So
several books, right? You gave us
yeah,
two.
I've written
How about one
several.
from some other source?
So I was going to tell you, and this is one of my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich,
Napoleon Hill?
because that changes your mindset.
Yeah, mine. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
have a book here, which is another one of my favorites, and this isn't. Um,
Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs.
oops, I'm sorry.
Billionaire. Okay, I've never heard about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, please, if you don't mind, send me a screenshot of that of
Yeah.
the cover. I'll go look for it.
Absolutely. So
Uh,
all these books you can use in everyday life, all these tools,
mhm, mhm.
because relationships aren't just like male female, they're business,
And
right?
that's male to
Your
male too.
community,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Everything is about relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. And everything that I have done, it is thanks to the relationships that I've been able to form.
Yes.
I
Building
cannot
those.
in Africa, in Asia, whatever I've done, it is thanks to the
Yeah.
relationships, the people that I've met along the way. And
Absolutely.
I'm increasingly believing that God puts people on the way for you to learn from them,
Yes.
to maybe share a thought with them, but more importantly, for you to learn from them.
But
And
also to add value to them because that's
exactly,
what a relationship is. We're exchanging value.
exactly.
Dating is you're collecting data, so you're dating more than one person,
Yep,
you know. So
yep, yep. What's
yeah.
your favorite biblical phrase or paragraph or line, if you don't mind?
Wow, life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Hmm. Wow, I never. I've heard that before, but I don't know which part of the Bible. But that is certain. Is that from the Psalms or something? I don't know. But
I don't
I
know.
could go look for it. I will look for it.
But
And
it goes back to what I said about how so many women speak. There's no good men.
mhm.
You're framing your world with
Oh,
your words, with your tongue. The tongue
hmm,
literally is the strongest muscle in the
the
body.
body. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that too.
it
Wow.
is. Like in dentistry,
Yeah.
you can't move a tongue that doesn't want to move.
No kidding.
You you will hurt your arm.
Wow.
So, figuratively speaking and spiritually speaking, the
Hmm.
tongue is the strongest muscle in the body.
That's deep. That is
It is.
very, very deep. I need to go research that more. Uh,
Please.
so what kind of food? African food? African American food? What would be your favorite?
Wow. To be honest, I don't have a favorite food,
You're
but
not
when
a foodie, you're not a food kind of person?
no, no, no.
Okay. So you don't fall for jollof.
I
You don't
love
because
jollof rice.
I'm gonna ask
I
you
love, and I
which
eat a lot of it.
Cameroon jollof rice,
I've never had
Nigerian jollof rice,
Nigerian and King.
Ghanaian jollof rice. Which do you think is the best?
I'm
You
gonna
better
say
get this one.
Nigerian.
Better get this one right. Please, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it
I'm
wrong.
sorry. I'm sorry,
Okay. All right. Never
but
mind.
for the podcast,
Yeah.
Cameroonian.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Folks, my folks in Singapore, you hear that? I told you that Cameroon jollof rice is the best. And for
Yes.
the Africans out here, please get it right. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Now, Sharon, I mean, this has been an absolute privilege and a
Thank
pleasure to
thank
have
you.
you. If you walk into the room, this is a final question. You walk into the room, there are four chairs that are lined up.
Okay.
The first chair is standing within a triangle. Triangle. The second chair is standing within a square. The third chair is standing within a squiggly. The fourth chair is standing within a circle. And you told, hey, Sharon, please choose any of the chairs. Would you choose the one in the squiggly, which is twisted, the one in the circle, the one in the square, or the one in the triangle? Which of these chairs would you be more inclined to naturally your energy would lead you to?
I'm gonna go with my first answer,
Which
even though I
is,
have two.
yeah, which is the first?
My first answer is the circle because the world is so vast.
Amazing, amazing. So the people that tend to choose a circle, they're the ones that come from the heart. The ones
Oh,
that they work like in counseling, in social works,
oh,
in ministry like yours, this kind of work that you do. The ones that tend to choose as quickly are the creative ones, the ones that are
that
non-conform,
was my number two.
non-conform, they're not non-conforming. And then the ones in the triangle are the ones that like want to be CEOs, they're structured, they're hierarchical, and the ones in the in the square, those are the ones that tend to make like CPAs, accountants, and all of that. They are very, very careful
Wow.
about. That comes from science of psychogeometrics. That's not my thing, but it's someone's stuff that I'm seeing, and I like to use it here on this program, on this
Wow.
channel with my guests. And I tend to get a lot of squigglies. Earlier this
I was
morning, we had somebody who was a squiggly, and I tend to get a lot of them. But I'm happy that yours conforms with the kind of work that you're doing.
wow. So I was going to choose, of course, one, the
Mhm.
circle, but two was the squiggly because I'm very creative.
There you go. Oh, there, I could see some of that on your website. But more importantly, I want to thank you so much, Sharon, for the work that you do, for the
Thank
people
you.
that you're helping. And I hope we'll be able to have a rejoinder in which we'll have a panel um, with the other lady who is based in Canada. And
Yes.
she works with a lot with Francophone Africa and United States and Canada. And we'll have a conversation about what are the trends
Oh,
and what
oh,
is working, what's not working.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gideon Story Warrior. I so appreciate being invited to your platform, and I hope I added value
You
to your
absolutely
listening audience. Thank you
you,
so much,
you
sir.
certainly did. From me to you, I can say you did a lot more than I asked for. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Have a
Have a good
blessed.
evening, and we'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye, bye, ma'am.